forest. No matter. You had best be on your way.
Hey guys, Anita here.
Boy,
Playing Ni no Kuni.
see me from time to time.
I was in the mood for something bright and cute instead of, you know, the dark and dreary games that I've been playing for the last little bit.
Yes, sir.
And this certainly fit the bill. And I love Mr. Drippy.
Time to head back to Ding Dong Dell.
The names in this are pretty good too. And that's like the telling stone, that floating guy there, which I'm like, alright, my character's on Twitter now. I'm gonna call my cell phone that from now on, the telling stone. But it's Feedback Friday, and that means I respond to feedback. And the first point of feedback, in a sense, is I got blocked by Feminist Frequency. Yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Have trouble telling part. Yes, yesterday. I got blocked by Feminist Frequency yesterday. So that, I guess, is feedback of a sort. Apparently, she used the GG auto blocker tool, which we all know how flawed that premise is. You're blocking someone for just following 2 or more people on a specific list. And it doesn't matter why you're following those people. It doesn't matter if you were doing it, you know, to keep an eye on them or whatever. I have real issues with any third party being able to install things on Twitter just because I'm paranoid. But this particular one, I am absolutely perplexed on how people have the right to restrict the speech of others in that way. And yes, I know the reasons. It just, there's a difference between understanding something practically and objecting to something philosophically, and that's where I'm at with this.
Here goes.
So, where's the sandstorm? Oh, but I love this little guy. But so that's that. You know, it is what it is. It's not worth. Oh, that was it. Oh, go little familiar dude. You know, some people get really mad when they're blocked. I just kind of go, oh well, because to me it's relatively meaningless in that I didn't really communicate meaningfully with Feminist Frequency through Twitter anyway, so it's just an FU in a sense. It's okay, not something I have to worry about anymore. Just from now on, guys, if you are interested in my opinions on something through Twitter like that, if I can't see it, I can't comment. So there you go. And I really don't care to comment about people's personal blather on Twitter anyway. I think people make altogether too big a deal about what people say on Twitter. So that's the first bit of feedback. The second thing someone asked me to talk about was the Game of Thrones pirate. Not an actual pirate. Somebody leaked multiple episodes of Game of Thrones before they aired, and it was this whole thing of don't watch them, or this is why I'm okay with piracy and all this stuff. And this is a slightly different issue than piracy, you know, like torrents or things like that. But I'm gonna sort of use this to talk a little bit about my evolution on the whole issue.
Come on.
I love the little enemy designs in this, by the way. I think it's awesome. Oh no. I don't have the magic power to do this. Whoopsie. So, I used to be dead set against piracy because I'm a content creator. I don't like it when people get something for nothing. I find it extremely unfair. And I say this as somebody who, you know, I do this stuff every day, and some people are like, you know, well, you just play games and talk every day. That's not that hard. First of all, it's harder than you think to talk and play games, but no, it's not rocket science. The thing that would be great if people appreciated was the amount of scathing personal criticism that comes with putting your content on YouTube. And I think just the willingness and the ability to put up with that garbage is worth something. You know, as somebody who's gone through it, it'd be, you know, credit where credit's due. There's
Come on! Here goes!
you know, the time taken, and like I said, even if it's not full time, and being able to have a YouTube channel should not be strictly the province of the independently wealthy. There's gotta be some level of meritocracy in this thing, or else what's the point? It's just another broadcast vehicle for people who are already relatively powerful, and you know, that dreaded word privilege. But Game of Thrones is slightly different, I will admit, and this is what I've learned through talking to people. And so, and the reason that is because HBO has a uniquely restrictive distribution model, in that HBO wants people to subscribe to HBO. And so they want people essentially, oh, cutscene. Okay, I'm going to try to talk over this. But,
I better explain how it's done then, innit?
you know, oh, more explaining. We haven't had plenty of that.
And fill it with
Okay.
the piece of heart our friend is missing.
Great. This would be great for TV executives, by the way. Let's just put pieces of heart in TV executives, and a lot of this will be solved.
I don't understand.
Oliver's really good at repeating things, by the way.
Just give it a go. You'll soon work it out, man.
So,
first off, what that guard
HBO wants people to get HBO.
Find some and give it to him, and he'll
Just,
be right
sorry, that guy's
Okay.
funny, he's derpy.
But where do I find enthusiasm?
Hey, not on the internet.
Then. Hup, and ha.
Oh, check him out. Let's punch him.
If he hasn't got some enthusiasm to spare, I'm a monkey's uncle. Ask nicely, and I'm sure he'll give you a lend of it.
Wait, you're teaching a child to steal a piece of someone's soul and give it to another dude so that they can both be mediocre. Excellent, I love it. So, HBO wants, as I was saying, wants people to get HBO. And they don't care if you're subscribing to HBO for, you know, one show or 7. And Game of Thrones is a big thing for them in that way. And so, yeah, they don't want to make it available any other way. They want people to get HBO
Okay, here goes.
to watch Game of Thrones. Now, I'm not going to do that, so I am way behind on Game of Thrones. I've seen parts of season 1, bits of season 2. It's basically if I'm over at someone's place or someone has it or something like that, or there's little clips online, I can watch it and I read about it, but I'm not... I can't afford to get television channels for one show. I don't care how good the show is. No show is worth the cost of another television channel. It's just not. And that has nothing to do with the show and everything to do with how expensive cable TV is now. So, okay, that's cute. I should probably be paying attention to this, but oh well. So, there is a thing, and there's another factor to this that other people have explained to me. And this is the benefit of talking to people, right? You learn stuff.
What's happening?
And here's this guy. Is he gonna do dance now?
Well, 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 you're back with us, I see.
Oh. Sorry, guys.
I feel
Not the best game to stream
as if
to.
a weight has been lifted from my heart. I feel Better.
Welcome to the ranks of mediocrity. You're no longer at all special.
I was worried about you.
Oh, I'm an asshole.
I wasn't
Why do they have
myself.
fish on their
But I'm back
staffs?
now. And ready to work harder than
They're
ever.
the fish people.
Well then.
Oh,
these
great.
fine people have all
I'm
come
a
to
cog
visit
in the
our great
machine.
kingdom. I think we'd better let them in.
Hey, okay. Who
Indeed
cares
we
if
had.
these guys are completely mediocre?
This
We
way,
got what
everybody.
we wanted. That's surprisingly appropriate for the conversation I'm having now. Hey, merit stamps. Yay. I like merit stamps. What altruism? How dare you be altruistic? Oh, good God. This town. Alright, I'm gonna get swift solutions. Okay, so some people pointed out to me when I talked about piracy with people, and this is the, like I said, the beauty of communication and talking to people and learning another side of things, is that they pointed out that if you live in certain countries or you're on certain cable systems or whatever, even if you wanted to pay for certain shows like Game of Thrones, you can't. And so they pirate them. And in things like this, these leaks, these are revenge things, right? I mean, one thing to remember when you're looking at advanced released material like this is that you are participating in someone else's screw you. I won't say that's bad or good, I'm just saying be aware of the fact that that is what you're doing. Proprietor. Oh god, they're all Nikos. Okay. I did name my character Momo. Okay, so that's why they're all fish. I get it. I understand the decor. Now look at that. Okay, happy cat people. So I guess the way I feel about the... What? Take a look at the sparkly pots? Okay. I guess the way I feel about the Game of Thrones pirate, like the releasing of you know, unofficial content or whatever, is that it really doesn't matter what I feel about it.
Jeepers.
It's the reality of
Different.
the revenue model, the business model that HBO has chosen to adopt.
Blind? You are the goofy one round these parts.
Mr. Drippy's telling him off. Ha ha, point and laugh. That's real great. So, and that's the reality of media business, is that there's, you know, no perfect models. And the thing about the, I mean, let's face it. Oh snap. You know, HBO is using an elitist model. It is. And it's programming for affluent people by affluent people. And there's no getting around that. There isn't. Hi, Mama. You heard your name, huh? So that's just that. And there are pitfalls. I mean, the pitfalls of something like YouTube is that people can use ad block, and you need... The unfortunate thing about YouTube is you can have millions of subscribers and only thousands of views. And so you have to keep on that, unfortunately, clickbait model to keep getting people watching, unless you're fortunate enough to just have so many subscribers that you still get enough to make decent money. Otherwise, you're sort of stuck on the clickbait angle. But I'd rather do that occasionally than, you know, deny people the ability to watch my content just based on their ability to afford it. And that's just a philosophical thing, you know, HBO can do what it wants. But if you're going to, you know, radically restrict access, people are going to try to get around your walls. It's that build a better mousetrap thing. And this isn't an ethical or moral argument at all. It's a practical one. And that's what I kind of think about that. If it was something like, you know, an album, I get really upset when albums get leaked. Because people put a lot of work in albums, and albums are, you know, yeah, you can buy them, but people can also stream the songs on YouTube. After not very long, you know, they can still get access to it. Everybody can sort of pay what they feel is warranted. And so it's not the same as something like this. People who make albums aren't actively and deliberately trying to keep people out unless they pay. And that, you know, that's not the same as something like a movie, but I guess it sort of is. Movie? No, it's not, because movies, if Game of Thrones was a movie, I could choose to see just Game of Thrones. I'm not subsidizing an entire channel for one show. And so it's complicated, and, you know, it doesn't really matter what I think, but because of the conversations I've had and because of the specific reality of HBO's model, which I believe to be behind the times, I think people should be able to get things online, and they should be able to get things, you know, I'd like to see talented showrunners and talented show developers get power back in Hollywood. I don't like it being so concentrated in the hands of the, you know, the equivalent of publishers, the you know, the movie companies. So, you know, I'm not going to say go pirate. I'm not, because you are taking something that's not yours. But I guess in terms of lesser of evils, I can kind of understand people's point. Now, does this mean I'm going to do it? No, I just don't watch Game of Thrones. Yeah, oh my god, heresy. But that's the problem, isn't it? And that's why I can understand why people go to roundabout ways to get this stuff, because it is such a massive discussion. And, you know, my thing of Game of Thrones is I identify with characters that don't end up too great in the books, and that's part of the reason I'm not super, oh my god, I must watch. Because the, you know, ambitious women don't do too well in A Song of Ice and Fire. And so I mean, they say they are going to deviate. I'm not real stoked about this season because, you know, I know some of the things about the book it's based on, and I don't know. I read a lot of fantasy, I watch a lot of fantasy, I play a lot of fantasy. I love fantasy stories. But the reasons I don't connect to George R.R. Martin are an issue for another time. This was specifically responding to a question asked, and I think I did that. So I'm going to keep this one relatively short because it's just feedback. But, you know, thank you guys for asking me things. Thank you for giving a damn what I think. I hope you don't think I dodged that, because that wasn't my intent. I think it's really important to say when you feel like your personal opinion on something is not necessary and isn't even really valid. You know, it's sometimes it's good to say, you know what? Doesn't matter what I think. What do you think? You know, it's important to listen as well as talk. So that's Feedback Friday, and so that means we're going to take a break for the weekend, and YouTube's going to yell at me, your traffic's going down, because YouTube does that. It's like a really nasty drug dealer. But I'll be back Monday with Mountain Monday so we can regain our zen after our crazy weekends.